Welcome to the 2022 Economic Depression and Preparation Channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me on this weekend edition, July 16th and 17th, 2022. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel. Preach to me for the latest, pure, unadulterated financial news in the U.S. and beyond. Thank you for your support. I read each and every one of your comments, and we all are in this community together, and we're going to get through this together. So today I'm going to be talking continuously, just briefly here on this weekend edition, about the PPI Index, the Producer Price Index jumping in June, as well as inflation jumping, and as well as the layoffs that are going to be sweeping later on after the summer ends here in America. So what we have here is we have the wholesale prices shot up near 11.3% in June on surge in energy costs. Now, fuel prices have ticked down some. The average price, according to AAA, is around $4.70 a gallon now for regular unleaded U.S. dollars in the United States. Elsewhere, I know in other countries they're paying higher per gallon. But so that's been some of the good news. The prices of gasoline has come down about maybe 5 or 6 cents in the past 2 weeks here. But the producer price index, the PPI index, rose 11.3%. This is the cost of production, the input cost, and this is what I was talking about in last video, guys. And we're not even including food, energy, and trade. The core PPI was up 6.4%, and so this was also below expectations. But jobless claims jumped up to 244,000. This is the highest level since November 2021. And this is going to be a big problem. I'm going to get into that in just one second. But this is going to be a big problem for this economy. We're not creating jobs. We're kind of stagnant wages, no new job creation, along with the inputs for these businesses getting the raw materials has gone up to 11.3%. So, of course, and everything depends on oil and natural gas and other products. Now, this is good news for some of the natural gas and oil companies. Their profits, they're seeing record profits, of course. A lot of the manufacturers have told me that produces these commercial stoves and wood stoves, they said they've seen a 2,000% increase in profits and work, and they have plenty of work. They're back ordered, a lot of these companies out west. And so that's great news for those companies. However, the rest of the economy, as you and I know, is more than just the stock market. It's more than just the energy and the oil costs. The rest of the economy in terms of inflation, food, gas, and oil. Food, gas, energy, and transportation, and clothing, and everything that necessities that we all depend on as Americans for our daily subsistence is going up tremendously. So we have real inflation right now at 18%. Official quote unquote inflation is over 9.1% according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So now we have the world economy here. This is according to CNBC yesterday. Inflation will likely be tamed next year when rate hikes start to work. This is according to the IMF chief. This is what she says. This is the International Monetary Fund chief. She says that rate hikes will work next year. This is her right here, Christina Georgieva. She speaks, and she said that the rate hikes will work as she was talking in Berlin, Germany. She says that the rate hikes will begin to take their effect next year. But my question is, this is going to be too late of a year because Janet Yellen has already said that, quote, inflation is unacceptably high and reducing it should be the top priority. Now, remember, a couple months ago, she said that she was wrong about the transitory inflation, and I applaud her for taking that stand. And now we're seeing that it's not transitory. It's actually going to be increasing. And it's something that the IMF chief, the International Monetary Fund chief, said that it would be tamed next year. I think she's absolutely wrong. We're headed to a inflation for the remainder of President Biden's term, 2023, 2024, and it won't be tamed until 2025. And by then, the damage to the economy will be too far gone. Okay, so layoffs. Insider.com, guys. As you know, the Dow Jones was up 2% yesterday on Friday, up 600 points based on what? Based on what good news? Nothing. But here we are with a wave of layoffs sweeping the U.S., okay? Here are the firms so far, and you've probably seen some of these in the news, but we have Coinbase, Tesla. They laid off 229 employees. As you know, Tesla CEO Elon Musk is moving most of his operations to Texas, Austin, Texas, and other areas. He's building a big plant out of there. So they're planning on making a mass exodus out of the San Mateo, California area, the Silicon Valley area, as you know. Rivian, now this is the supposed to be the electric car maker that's supposed to rival the Ford Lightning truck and other trucks. They laying off around 5% of their workforce. Makes sense. They tried to go IPO, but it didn't work, so they're laying off 5% of its workforce. GoPuff, they're laying off 10% of its staff. These delivery drivers. See, the gig economy is going to be hurt by this. Remax, of course, is another. You've seen these signs out with these open house sales. 17% of its workforce is going to be cut here. by the end of the year. Microsoft, less than 1% of its employees. So that's a little less impact at Microsoft. Obviously, they're one of the big five tech companies, FANG stocks that everybody looks to. So they're only laying off about a small number of employees. But JP Morgan, here we go. Over 1,000 workers in JP Morgan are going to be laid off in its home lending department, of course, obviously. 450 employees at Compass, and that's a home lending brokerage, real estate brokerage. They're laying off 10% of its workforce. Redfin, 6% of its total employees are going to be gone here by the end of the year. Coinbase, 18% of its workforce is a crypto exchange. 18% they're going to be laying off in the downturn here in the second quarter. By the end of the second quarter of 2022, meaning by the end of August, September, they'll be laying out those workers there amid the crypto crash. Carvana, a lot of people use them to get cars now, delivered and all of that. They're laying off 2,500 people, 12% of its staff. Reef, 750 of its staff. They do kitchen work there. As you can see, Ghost Kitchens. They're going to cut 5% of its global workforce, not just in the United States. Better, they're laying off 4,000 people. Noom, 495. Peloton, over 2,800 people are going to be laid off. Peloton, in February, they fired over 2,800 people. That's 20% of its corporate workforce in a downturn. And speaking of Peloton, you can go on the what is it? I think Sam's and Costco and those places like that, BJ's, and you can buy bikes that are even off Amazon that's not even Peloton labeled, that actually do a pretty good job. Those stationary bikes that are not Peloton labeled, so they're going down in value. Thrasio, some other company, 20% of its staff is gone. Robinhood, the popular stock exchange app, 300 people are being laid off there. Wells Fargo, look at they say unknown number of people in the mortgage lending. Wells Fargo has been in a lot of shady lawsuits, as you know, creating fraudulent accounts back in 2018 and 2019. They've been discriminatory against minorities and accounts, and now they're having to lay over an unknown number of people in the mortgage lending. So they're going to be laying off a lot. So there's so many companies here, and you can read the list here on businessinsider.com. Even PayPal, 83 people. 300 people, Netflix, 150 people. And these numbers are going to continue to go up, ladies and gentlemen, because this economy is not getting any better. Right. And even though we've got a brief reprieve right now in terms of the gas prices coming down, that is nothing to what's to come. As you know, prices will continue to go up as supplies continue to shrink. And also, as we realize that we're going to be in a double dip recession, even a depression. So it's not just the midterms we have to worry about, it's this economy, it's other things too as well. So continue to stock up, continue to supply, but also enjoy yourself. Continue to pray, stay prayed up with your family, your friends, your loved ones. Get self-care in there, get all of that stuff. Even though things look to be gloomy, we still have a lot to be blessed and thankful for. As you know, God has continued to put food on our table, clothes on our back, a roof over our head, and a lot of people don't have that. 95 to 90% of people in this world don't have that on a consistent basis as we have in some parts of America and elsewhere. So we thank God for that. I thank God for each and every one of you. Enjoy your weekend. I will be back later on this upcoming new week here, to bring you more details about earnings season and other things as well. Please look in the list in the comments any other topics that you would like me to talk about or discuss. I don't give financial advice, but I try my best to do my homework for you guys and for myself as well. So be blessed. I'll talk to you very soon. Thank you very much for listening.